You know what the biggest difference is between you and successful people? It's not time, it's not resources, it's not talent, it's not luck. The difference is that they win their next hour, every single hour. And you think, you plan. I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start next week, I'll wait for the right time. And while you're thinking, your hours slip away, your days slip away, your months slip away, your years slip away, and you stay exactly where you are, stuck, frustrated, dreaming but not doing, planning but not executing. And here's the most painful part. You know what you need to do. You know what your dreams are. You know what you want to achieve, but you still can't do it. Why? Because you're stuck, paralyzed, overwhelmed, and you're waiting for some perfect moment, some big breakthrough, some magical burst of motivation. But here's the truth. That moment will never come. That breakthrough will never happen. That motivation will never hit until you win your next hour. Just the next one, just 60 minutes, and then the next one, and then the next. That's the secret. That's the formula. Win your next hour. Welcome to Story Reads, where we break down the world's most powerful books into clear, actionable insights so you can transform your life starting today. Today, we're diving into Danny Lehr's game-changing book, Win Your Next Hour. A book that will teach you exactly how to get unstuck and turn your dreams into reality. Danny Lehr is an entrepreneur, podcaster, and most importantly, someone who's been exactly where you are right now. He had big dreams, big plans, but he was stuck, paralyzed by overwhelm, until he discovered one simple but incredibly powerful concept: win your next hour. In this book, Danny shares the exact framework that transformed his life. And this framework is so practical, so actionable, that you can literally start applying it today, right now. The core message of this book is crystal clear. We don't get stuck because we lack capability. We get stuck because we think too big. We look at the whole mountain and get overwhelmed. But if we focus on just the next step, just the next hour, suddenly everything becomes manageable. Everything becomes doable. And when we consistently win our hours, those hours compound into days. Days compound into weeks. Weeks into months. And before you know it, your dreams have become reality.
But before we dive into this powerful framework, let me give you an important heads up. This isn't for people who want a magic pill. This isn't for people looking for shortcuts. This is for people who are genuinely tired of being stuck, people who are ready to change, people who are willing to get uncomfortable, people who are willing to take action. If you want someone to tell you everything's fine and you don't need to change anything, this isn't for you. But if you're ready to actually grow, actually improve, actually transform your life, then pay close attention, because this framework will literally change everything. First, let's understand why we get stuck in the first place. Danny explains that there are three major reasons we end up paralyzed. The first reason is overwhelm. We have so many tasks in front of us, so many responsibilities, so many goals. We get completely overwhelmed. We can't figure out where to start, what to do first, what to do next. And in this state of overwhelm, we freeze. We do nothing because doing everything feels impossible. The second reason is perfectionism. We want everything to be perfect. Perfect plan, perfect timing, perfect conditions, but perfect never comes. And while we're chasing perfection, we never actually start. The third reason is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. This fear holds us back. We think, what if I fail? What will people say? What if things don't go according to plan? And this fear keeps us from taking action. Danny explains that these three reasons are interconnected. Overwhelm creates paralysis, perfectionism creates procrastination, fear creates inaction, and collectively they keep us stuck. We think, we plan, we worry, but we don't do. And the longer we stay stuck, the more frustrated we get, the more guilty we feel, the more hopeless we become. And these negative emotions keep us even more stuck. It's a vicious cycle.
Let me give you a real-life example that perfectly illustrates this stuck state. There was a young guy named Jake. Jake had a dream of starting a YouTube channel. He was passionate about content creation. He had ideas. He had skills. He even had the equipment. But Jake was stuck. He kept thinking about which niche to choose, what content to make, how to script it, how to edit it, what time to upload, how to promote it. So many questions, so many things to figure out. Jake was overwhelmed. Plus, he was a perfectionist. He wanted his first video to be perfect, professional quality, something that would go viral. So he kept planning, writing scripts, rewriting them again, but he never actually shot anything because it never felt perfect enough. And on top of that, he had fear. What if people don't like it? What if I get negative comments? What if I get no views? What will my friends think? What will my family say? These fears paralyzed Jake. The result? 2 years went by. Jake never uploaded a single video. He just kept thinking, kept planning, kept dreaming, but no action. And every day, his frustration grew. Every day, his guilt increased. Every day, he became more disappointed in himself. See, that's the stuck state. Jake was capable, he was passionate, he had resources, but he was still stuck. Why? Because he was thinking on too big a scale. He was looking at the entire journey and getting overwhelmed. He was chasing perfection and procrastinating. He was feeling fear and not taking action. Now, what's Danny Lehr's solution? The solution is win your next hour. Jake didn't need to think about his entire YouTube career. He didn't need to think about going viral. He didn't need to think about the perfect video. He just needed to think about what he could do in the next hour. Just one step, one small action. In the next hour, I'll just create a script outline. That's it. Then the next hour, I'll add some detail to that outline. Then the next hour, I'll write a rough draft. Then the next hour, I'll do some editing. Small hours, small actions, and suddenly that overwhelming journey becomes manageable. Suddenly that impossible-seeming task starts feeling possible. That's the core concept of win your next hour. Break down your big goals. Focus only on your next hour, only on your next small action. And when you consistently win your hours, they compound. And before you know it, you've reached your big goals. Danny gives a powerful analogy. He says, imagine you need to climb a mountain. If you stand at the bottom and look at the peak, you'll get overwhelmed. It's so high. It's so far. How will I ever get there? But if you focus on just the next step, just one more step, then another, and you consistently take those steps, eventually you'll reach the peak. You don't need to look at the peak every moment. You just need to focus on the next step. The same principle applies to life. You don't need to look at your big dream every moment. Just focus on your next hour, your next action, and do it consistently. That's the essence of win your next hour. Now, Danny explains why this concept actually works. Psychologically, our brains are wired for short-term thinking. When we think about long-term, big goals, our brains get overwhelmed. But when we think about the immediate next step, our brains feel comfortable, confident. It feels manageable. That's why breaking down big goals into small hours is so effective. It's psychologically aligned with how our brains work. Plus, when we win small hours, we get immediate gratification. We feel progress. We feel achievement. And this positive feeling motivates us to continue. It creates positive momentum. Every 1 hour gives us confidence, energy, motivation to win the next hour. And this momentum compounds. Slowly we build a streak, a habit, and then winning hours becomes our default state. Now, Danny discusses how to specifically implement this concept. The first step is to identify what your big goal is. What do you want to achieve? This clarity is necessary. But remember, this identification is just the beginning.
Don't waste too much time on it. Don't do too much detailed planning. Just be clear about the direction you want to go. The second step is to break down that big goal. If your goal is to write a book, break it down. To write a book, you need chapters. To write chapters, you need an outline. To create an outline, you need research. To do research, you need sources. Keep breaking it down until you reach very small, actionable tasks.
The third step is to identify which small task you can do in the next hour. Just one, only one. This is very important. We have a tendency to think about doing multiple tasks at once, but that creates overwhelm again. So just one task, very small, very specific, something that can definitely be completed in 1 hour. The fourth step is to commit. Promise yourself that in the next hour, I will definitely do this task. No distractions, no excuses, just this 1 hour, this one task. The fifth step is to execute. Actually do that task. Put your phone aside, turn off notifications, focus, and complete that task. The sixth step is to celebrate. When you complete that task, celebrate it. Acknowledge that you won an hour. This celebration is crucial because it reinforces positive behavior. It motivates you to continue. It tells your brain that this is good. This needs to be repeated. The seventh step is to repeat. Identify the next hour's task again. Commit again, execute again, celebrate again, and keep this cycle going. That's the Win Your Next Hour framework. Sounds pretty simple, right? And actually, it is simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. This requires discipline, consistency, commitment. But if you honestly follow it, results are guaranteed. Now let me tell you how Jake applied this framework. Jake came across Danny Lehr's book. He read it and decided he would implement Win Your Next Hour. He first identified his big goal: start a YouTube channel and grow it. Then he broke it down. To create a channel, he needed an account first. For an account, he needed a Gmail. That was pretty small. Then channel setup, banner, description, then content. First video. For the video, a script. For the script, a topic. Breaking it down like this, Jake identified the smallest first step: finalize a topic for his first video. Jake decided that's all he'd do in the next hour. No scripting, no shooting, just finalize one topic. That's it. Jake set a timer, put his phone aside, and focused. He brainstormed, wrote down some topics, compared them, and in 1 hour, he finalized a topic. Just that much. But this was huge. For the first time in 2 years, Jake had actually done something concrete, something actionable. Jake celebrated. He congratulated himself, and then he identified the next hour's task: create a basic outline on that topic. Again, 1 hour, again, focus, again, execute. And the outline was done. Then celebrate, then next task, expand the outline in detail. Again, 1 hour, execute, detailed outline ready. Celebrate, next task, write the first draft of the script. 1 hour, execute, draft ready. Continuing like this, in 5 days, Jake's script was ready. In the previous 2 years, he couldn't create one script, and now ready in 5 days. Why? Because now Jake was focusing on the next hour, not on the whole project. Then, in the next few hours, shooting happened, then editing, then thumbnail, then upload, and in 10 days, Jake's first video was live, after 2 years. And when that video went live, Jake felt something completely different: pride, accomplishment, relief, and most importantly, confidence. Confidence that I can do this. I'm not stuck. I can actually turn my dreams into reality. After that first video, Jake continued, every day winning some hours, consistently. And in 6 months, Jake had 30 videos, a decent audience, and most importantly, a running YouTube channel that was previously just a dream. Today, Jake says, Win Your Next Hour changed my life.
I was stuck for 2 years because I was thinking on too big a scale. But when I focused on just the next hour, suddenly everything felt possible. And it actually was possible. See how powerful this framework is? A simple concept. Focus on your next hour. But it transformed Jake's entire situation. From stuck to unstuck. From dreaming to doing. From frustrated to fulfilled. And this can happen with you too. Now, Danny discusses some common obstacles that come up when we try to implement Win Your Next Hour. The first obstacle is distraction. We decide that in the next hour I'll do this task, but then the phone rings, a notification comes, someone texts, someone calls, and our focus breaks. Danny says distraction management is critical. When you commit to an hour, first eliminate all possible distractions. Silence your phone, turn off notifications, close your door, tell your family not to disturb you. Create an environment that's conducive to focus. The second obstacle is lack of clarity. Sometimes we don't know what specific task to do in the next hour. We stay vague, and this vagueness creates confusion. Confusion creates procrastination. Danny suggests always being very specific. Instead of saying, in the next hour I'll work on the project, say, in the next hour I'll write 5 bullet points for the outline. This specificity gives clarity, and clarity makes action easier. The third obstacle is energy management. Sometimes we're physically or mentally tired, and in those moments, focusing is difficult. Danny says we need to be smart about energy management. Identify your high-energy hours. Usually morning hours are high energy. Use those hours for your most important tasks and use low-energy hours for easier tasks.
The fourth obstacle is perfectionism that can creep back in. We start a task, but then we want it to be perfect and we get stuck in it. Danny reminds us that the goal is progress, not perfection. Whatever you did in 1 hour is enough, even if it's not perfect. You can refine it later, but first complete it. The fifth obstacle is lack of motivation. Some days we feel motivated, some days we don't. And when we don't have motivation, we don't take action. Danny says this is backward thinking. Motivation comes from action, not action from motivation. So even if you don't feel motivated, still win your next hour. Take action, and you'll see that motivation automatically comes. The sixth obstacle is comparison. We look at others on social media, success stories, and we compare ourselves, and we feel like we're behind, we're not doing enough, we're not growing fast enough. This comparison demotivates us. Danny says your race is only with yourself. You need to compare yourself to yesterday's version of yourself. Did you win your hour today? Yes? Then you moved forward. That's what matters. Everything else is irrelevant. The seventh obstacle is expecting instant gratification. We want to see results immediately. We follow Win Your Next Hour for a week and expect dramatic changes. But that doesn't happen. Results take time. Compounding takes time. Danny reminds us to be patient. Trust the process. If you're consistently winning your hours, results will definitely come. Just give it some time. The eighth obstacle is negative self-talk. Our internal voice that says, you can't do this. This is too difficult. You've failed before. You'll fail this time too. This negative self-talk sabotages our efforts. Danny suggests consciously countering this negative voice. Use positive affirmations. I can do this. I'm capable. I just need to win 1 hour. I can do this. This positive self-talk strengthens us. The ninth obstacle is lack of accountability. When we're alone, it's easy to skip, make excuses. But if someone's holding us accountable, we stay more committed. Danny suggests finding an accountability partner, a friend, a family member. Tell someone about your hours. Give daily updates. This accountability will keep you consistent. The 10th obstacle is burnout. If we push ourselves too aggressively, we can burn out, get exhausted, and then we quit. Danny cautions to maintain a sustainable pace. Don't try to win every waking hour. Maintain balance. Rest is also important. Recovery is also important. Take a sustainable long-term approach.
Now, Danny discusses some advanced strategies to make Win Your Next Hour even more effective. The first strategy is batching. Batch similar tasks and do them together. This increases efficiency. Like if you need to respond to emails, do all emails in one specific hour instead of checking throughout the day. This saves mental energy and increases productivity.
The second strategy is time blocking. Create specific blocks in your calendar for different types of tasks, for creative work, for administrative work, for meetings, for personal time. When you time block, you're consciously deciding what to do in which hour. This eliminates decision fatigue. The third strategy is energy matching. Match your tasks to your energy levels. In high-energy hours, do high cognitive demand tasks, creative work, strategic thinking, problem-solving. In low-energy hours, do low-demand tasks, emails, filing, administrative work. This optimally uses your energy. The fourth strategy is environment design. Design your physical environment to support your goals. If you want to write, create a dedicated writing space. If you want to work out, keep your workout clothes out. Create environment cues that trigger desired behavior. The fifth strategy is habit stacking. Attach your new habits to existing habits, like after my morning coffee, I'll journal for 10 minutes, or after lunch, I'll take a 15-minute walk. This stacking makes it easier to adopt new habits. The sixth strategy is progress tracking. Track your 1 hours. Keep a simple calendar. Mark every 1 hour. This visual representation is motivating. You can see your streak, your consistency, and this encourages you to continue. The seventh strategy is a reward system. Set up rewards for yourself. When you win 10 consecutive hours, treat yourself. When you complete a significant milestone, celebrate. This positive reinforcement strengthens behavior.
The eighth strategy is reflection. Reflect regularly, weekly or monthly. What's working? What's not working? What needs adjustment? This reflection helps you continuously improve. The ninth strategy is flexibility. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. Unexpected situations arise. In those cases, don't be rigid. Stay flexible. If you couldn't win your planned hour, that's okay. Focus on the next hour. The 10th strategy is community. If possible, join or create a community where people are pursuing similar goals. Share your progress, learn from others, support each other. Community is a very powerful motivator. Now let me share another inspiring transformation story. There was a woman named Sarah. Sarah was a working professional, full-time job, family responsibilities, and alongside that, a dream to start her own online business. But Sarah didn't have time, or at least that's what she felt. Morning, go to the office, evening, come back, household chores, taking care of the kids, cooking, everything. The day would end, and about the business, she'd just keep thinking, could never actually work on it. 2 years passed like this. The business remained just an idea. Sarah was frustrated, she felt guilty, but she was stuck, couldn't figure out how to manage it all. Then Sarah came across the Win Your Next Hour book. She read it and realized that her problem wasn't time. The problem was her approach. She was thinking on too big a scale. Entire business, website, products, marketing, everything, and getting overwhelmed. Sarah decided to try the Win Your Next Hour approach. She analyzed her daily schedule. Office hours were fixed, family time was non-negotiable, but there were some gaps. 45 minutes in the morning before going to the office, 30 minutes during lunch break, 1 hour at night after the kids went to sleep. That added up to roughly 2 to 2.5 hours daily. Sarah decided that out of these hours, she'd use at least 1 hour daily for her business.
First day, Sarah took the morning 45 minutes. She decided that in this hour, she'd do just one thing: define her business idea in 1 line. Just that much. Sarah set a timer, eliminated distractions, and focused.
In 45 minutes, she clearly defined what her business would be exactly, a clear one-liner. This might seem small, but it was very important. For the first time, she had clarity. Next day, again, 1 hour. This time, the task was to identify potential customers for that business. Who is this for? Who will buy? Sarah did research, took notes. In 1 hour, she identified her target audience. Third day, the task was to research competitors. Who's doing something similar? How are they doing it? Sarah did a basic competitive analysis in 1 hour. Continuing like this, every day, 1 hour, one specific task. Slowly, Sarah's business plan started taking shape. In 1 month, she had a solid foundation, clear business idea, target audience, competitive landscape, value proposition, everything. Next month, she focused on execution. She needed to build a website, but not the entire website at once. In 1 hour, buy the domain. Next hour, set up hosting, then basic structure, then homepage content, then about page. Small tasks like this. Each task completable in 1 hour. By the end of the second month, Sarah's basic website was live. Third month, she worked on creating products. Fourth month, marketing strategy. Fifth month, execution. In 6 months, Sarah's online business was live, fully functional. She had products, she had a website, marketing was happening, first sales were coming in. What didn't happen in 2 years happened in 6 months. Why? Because now Sarah was focusing on the next hour, not on the whole overwhelming project. Every day, just 1 hour, but consistent, committed, focused, and those hours compounded. Today, 1 year later, Sarah's online business is generating income equal to her full-time salary. And most importantly, Sarah feels fulfilled. She achieved her dream on her own terms at her own pace. Sarah says, "Win your next hour taught me that I had time. I just didn't know how to use it. When I focused on small, manageable hours, suddenly everything became possible."
See how powerful this is? Sarah's story proves that no matter how busy you are, no matter how limited your time is, if you strategically use your hours, if you focus on the next hour, you can achieve your goals. Now, Danny discusses a very important concept, which is momentum. Momentum is a very powerful thing. When you start winning your hours, initially it's a bit tough. The first few days require discipline, effort, but as you continue, momentum builds. And when momentum builds, things become easier. You need less effort, less willpower. It starts happening naturally. Danny compares momentum to a flywheel. Starting a flywheel takes a lot of effort. The first pushes are very hard, but once the flywheel starts spinning, it keeps going with its own momentum, with less effort. Similarly, when you consistently win your hours, you build momentum, and then that momentum carries you. That's why starting is so important and consistency is so important, because that's what builds momentum. Danny also gives a warning. Momentum works in both directions. If you're building positive momentum with consistent action, that's great. But if you're in negative momentum with consistent inaction, that compounds too. The more you procrastinate, the easier procrastinating becomes. The more you stay stuck, the easier staying stuck becomes. So it's crucial that you break negative momentum and build positive momentum. Now, Danny discusses how to handle setbacks, because setbacks will come. You'll consistently win your hours for some days, momentum will build, and then suddenly one day you'll miss. There'll be an emergency, an unexpected situation, or just a weak moment, and you won't win your hour. Now, here's where it's crucial how you respond. Danny says the biggest mistake people make is all or nothing thinking. One miss and they feel like everything's over. The streak is broken. There's no point now, and they quit. This is a terrible mistake. Danny emphasizes that one miss doesn't mean failure. One miss just means one miss. What's important is that you immediately come back.
Danny gives a powerful analogy. Imagine you're driving on a highway and you accidentally hit a pothole. Now what do?
Do you stop the car, get out, and sit there thinking that now that you've hit a pothole, there's no point in going forward? Obviously not. You simply get the car back on the highway and continue. Similarly, when you miss an hour, simply acknowledge it. Okay, missed today, and immediately focus on the next hour. Get back on track. That's the mature approach. That's the approach of successful people. Danny makes another important point. He says actually, setbacks are very valuable because setbacks teach us. When you miss an hour, analyze why you missed it. What was the reason? Did you not plan properly? Was there a distraction you didn't eliminate? Was your energy level low? Whatever the reason, learn from it and be better prepared next time. This way, every setback becomes a learning opportunity. Now Danny discusses how to scale up. When you get comfortable winning 1 hour daily, you can scale up 2 hours, 3 hours. But Danny cautions not to scale too fast. Be gradual, be sustainable, because if you get too aggressive, there's a risk of burnout. It's better that you consistently win 1 hour daily rather than winning 3 hours for a few days and then burning out and quitting. Danny also explains how to diversify your 1 hours. You don't need to focus all hours on just one goal. You can work on different areas. Some hours for professional goals, some hours for personal growth, some hours for health, some hours for relationships. This holistic approach ensures your life stays balanced. You progress not just in one area, but in all important areas. Danny introduces a powerful framework he calls the 4 quadrants. This is inspired by Stephen Covey's time management matrix, but Danny has adapted it for the win your next hour context. The first quadrant is urgent and important. These are tasks that need to be done immediately and that also matter. Deadlines, emergencies, crisis situations. Danny says, obviously, these tasks are priority, but ideally, we should spend minimum time in this quadrant because it's reactive, stressful. The second quadrant is not urgent but important. These are tasks that aren't immediately necessary but matter a lot in the long term. Planning, strategizing, learning, relationship building, health maintenance. Danny emphasizes this is the most important quadrant. Most 1 hours should be invested in this quadrant because this is proactive. This prevents future problems. This builds long-term success.
The third quadrant is urgent but not important. These are tasks that demand immediate attention but don't actually matter much. Interruptions, some phone calls, some emails, some meetings. Danny says we should minimize time in this quadrant, delegate, automate, or simply say no. The fourth quadrant is not urgent and not important. These are activities that neither demand immediate attention nor add any real value. Time wasters, mindless scrolling, excessive TV. Danny says obviously this quadrant should be eliminated. So when you plan your next hour, consciously decide which quadrant to invest this hour in. Ideally, maximum hours should be in quadrant 2, because that's where real magic happens. That's where long-term transformation happens. Now let me give you another practical example. There was a guy named Mike. Mike was overweight, unhealthy, out of shape. He knew he needed to work on his health, but he was stuck. He'd joined a gym several times but would quit after a few weeks. He'd tried diet plans, but they weren't sustainable. Mike was frustrated. Then, Mike applied the win your next hour approach to his health. He decided he'd win just 1 hour every day for health. Just 1 hour. First day, the task was just to put on workout clothes and step outside the house. Just that much. No need to actually work out, just wear clothes and step outside. This was so easy that Mike did it. He wore the clothes, stepped outside, and when he was outside, he thought, let me just walk for a bit. Did a 10-minute walk. Came back. Hour 1. Second day, the task was to step outside and walk for 15 minutes. Mike did it. Third day, 20 minutes. Fourth day, 25 minutes. Gradually increasing like this, in 2 weeks, Mike was comfortably walking 30 minutes daily. Now the task changed. Along with the 30-minute walk, some basic stretches, then some bodyweight exercises, push-ups, squats. Slowly, Mike settled into a proper workout routine. Every day, 1 hour. Consistent. But this was sustainable because it had gradually built up. Along with this, Mike also applied the 1-hour approach to diet. First week, just track current eating habits. Just observe what I'm eating. Second week, one small change. Replace refined carbs with whole grains at breakfast. Third week, one more change. Increase vegetable quantity at lunch. Fourth week, eliminate sugary drinks. Small changes like this, every week just dedicating 1 hour to planning and preparation. In 6 months, Mike lost 55 pounds. His energy levels had skyrocketed. Health markers had improved. And most importantly, this was sustainable. This wasn't a crash diet. This wasn't an extreme workout program. This was consistent, small actions. Every day, 1 hour. Win your next hour. Today, 2 years later, Mike is maintaining his healthy lifestyle because this has now become his habit, his identity. And all this started with one simple decision: win your next hour. See how versatile this framework is? Whether it's career, whether it's business, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whether it's personal growth, you can apply Win Your Next Hour in every area, and you'll get results, guaranteed. You just need consistency, commitment, and belief that small hours compound into big transformations. Now, Danny discusses how to handle multiple goals simultaneously, because usually we don't have just one goal, we have multiple areas where we want to improve. Danny suggests allocating at least 3 to 5 1-hours weekly for every major area. For instance, if you have 3 major goals, career, health, and relationships, then every week 5 hours for career, 5 hours for health, and 3 hours for relationships. That's a total of 13 hours weekly, which is roughly 2 hours daily. This is manageable, and this ensures you're making progress in all important areas. Danny also says there are seasons. Sometimes a particular goal demands more attention. At that time, you can temporarily allocate more hours to that goal, but don't completely neglect other areas. Try to maintain balance. Danny now talks about a very critical concept, which is identity shift. Danny explains that long-term sustainable change only happens when we shift our identity. This isn't just about changing actions, this is about how we see ourselves. If we don't bring change at the identity level, eventually we revert to old patterns. But if change comes at the identity level, that change is permanent. So how do we do an identity shift? Danny says every 1 hour is a vote in favor of your new identity. When you consistently win your hours, you're proving to yourself that I'm the kind of person who follows commitments. I'm the kind of person who takes action. I'm the kind of person who creates results. And slowly, this becomes your identity. You become an action taker, a doer, a winner. And when this becomes your identity, winning hours becomes your default state. Danny suggests a powerful exercise. He says, clearly define who you want to become. What are the characteristics of that ideal version of you? Write down those characteristics. Then, after every 1 hour, tell yourself that this action proves I'm that person. For instance, if you want to become a disciplined person, when you win your hour, say, this proves that I'm disciplined. This self-talk reinforces your new identity, and slowly, this identity gets internalized. Danny also explains that environment matters a lot in identity formation. Surround yourself with people who embody the qualities you want to develop. If you want to become productive, spend time with productive people. If you want to become healthy, with health-conscious people. Your social circle influences your identity. Consciously choose that influence. Now, Danny discusses some common myths about Win Your Next Hour. The first myth is that it's just a productivity hack. People think it's just a technique to do more work. But Danny clarifies this isn't just about productivity. This is about intentional living. This is about consciously choosing how you spend your time. This is about aligning your actions with your values. The second myth is that there's no room for flexibility. People think every hour needs to be rigidly scheduled, but Danny says actually, flexibility is very important. Life is unpredictable, plans change, and that's okay. What's important is that you stay adaptable, but also stay committed. If there's a disturbance in a planned hour, shift to another hour, but don't skip completely. The third myth is that it's only for work. People think win your next hour means doing productive work every hour, but Danny emphasizes that rest is also important. Recovery is also important. Play is also important. You can consciously win an hour for rest, win an hour for family time. Winning an hour means intentionally using that hour, even if that use is for rest. The fourth myth is that results will be immediate. People expect that in 1 week, dramatic changes will be visible. But Danny reminds us this is a marathon, not a sprint. Results compound over time. Be patient. Trust the process. The fifth myth is that it's only for disciplined people. People think, I don't have discipline, so I can't do this. But Danny says, actually, this framework helps you develop discipline. You don't need to be disciplined beforehand. This practice itself makes you disciplined. Now, Danny shares some advanced concepts that take win your next hour to the next level. The first concept is strategic rest. Danny explains that rest should also be strategically planned. When you're intensely winning some hours, deliberately schedule rest hours too. This prevents burnout, and actually, this improves overall productivity, because a well-rested mind is more creative, more focused. The second concept is preemptive problem solving. Danny suggests anticipating potential obstacles and planning ahead how you'll handle them. For instance, if you know your energy is usually low in the evening, decide in advance what easier tasks you'll do at that time, or schedule rest at that time. This proactive approach is very helpful. The third concept is optimization. Danny says continuously optimize your systems. Regularly reflect on what's working and what's not. Keep making small improvements. This continuous improvement compounds. The fourth concept is leverage. Danny explains that some hours create more impact compared to others. Identify those high-leverage hours and prioritize them. For instance, 1 hour spent on strategy can potentially save 10 hours in execution. So strategic thinking is a high-leverage activity. The fifth concept is systems thinking. Danny emphasizes don't just focus on individual hours. Look at the bigger picture. How do your different hours interconnect? How does progress in one area affect other areas? This holistic view is very valuable. Now let me share one final comprehensive transformation story that ties everything together. There was a person named David. David was 30 years old, stuck in a dead-end job, unhealthy, relationships were struggling, financially stressed, and worst of all, he felt like life was out of his control. He'd wake up every day, follow a routine, sleep, and repeat. No progress, no growth, no fulfillment. David was depressed, hopeless. Then one day, David accidentally came across Danny Lehr's podcast episode where he was talking about win your next hour. David listened, and something clicked. He felt like maybe this was the missing piece he needed. David ordered the book, read it, and decided he would seriously implement this framework. David first identified his major life areas that needed change: career, health, relationships, finances, personal growth. 5 major areas. Then he broke down each area. What's needed in career? New skills, better job. In health, weight loss, fitness, energy. In relationships, quality time with family, deeper connections. In finances, better budgeting, debt reduction, savings. In personal growth, reading, learning, self-awareness. Now, looking at all this, David could have been overwhelmed. So much, so many things. But he remembered the win your next hour principle. Just the next hour, just one small action. David decided he'd win a minimum of 3 hours every day. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at noon, 1 hour in the evening. And he'd rotate through different areas. First week, David focused on health. Morning hour for walking, evening hour for meal prep, afternoon hour for researching healthy habits. Just 3 hours daily, but dedicated, focused, consistent. In 1 week, David had established a basic healthy routine. Second week, he added career focus. Morning for health, noon for completing 1 lesson in an online course to learn a new skill, evening for meal prep. Third week, Finance was added. Budget creation, expense tracking. By the end of the third week, David was consistently winning 3 to 4 hours daily, and already things were starting to change. His energy was better. His focus was better. His confidence was growing. From the fourth week, David scaled up, now 5 hours daily. Morning for health, then career, then learning, then finance, then relationships. Every area was getting attention, consistently. In the second month, David deepened his efforts. In health, not just walking anymore, but a proper workout routine. In career, not just learning, but actually applying in projects. In finance, not just budgeting, but executing a debt reduction plan. In relationships, deliberately scheduling quality time. By the third month, David's life was starting to transform. Physically, he was fitter. He'd lost 35 pounds. Energy levels were sky high. Career-wise, he'd completed 2 valuable courses and started freelance projects on the side for extra income. Financially, he'd cleared his credit card debt and started an emergency fund. In relationships, quality time with family had increased. Communication had improved. In personal growth, he was reading regularly, journaling, meditating. In 6 months, David's entire life was different. He switched his job. Better role, better salary. Physically, he was in the best shape of his life. Financially stable, relationships were fulfilling, and most importantly, internally, he was transformed, confident, purposeful, in control. Today, 2 years later, David is a completely different person. He has his own successful freelance business, excellent health, strong relationships, financial freedom, and a deep sense of fulfillment. David always says, "Win your next hour literally saved my life. I was drowning, stuck, hopeless. But when I started winning my hours one by one, slowly everything changed." And the most amazing thing is, all this started with just 1 hour, just one small action. But those hours compounded and became a completely transformed life. See how powerful this is? David's story is proof that no matter how stuck you are, no matter how overwhelming your situation seems, you can change, you can transform. You just need commitment, you just need consistency, and you just need belief that small hours bring big changes. Win your next hour. Now, Danny, wrapping up, shares some final wisdom. He says, ultimately, this is about life. Life is a series of moments, hours, and every hour is an opportunity to choose, an opportunity to act, an opportunity to grow. We can't change our past, we can't control our future, but we can definitely control our present hour. And when we consistently control our present hours, we're indirectly shaping our future. Danny shares a beautiful quote. He says, "Your life is nothing more than the sum of your hours." Your life is nothing but the sum of your hours. If you waste your hours, you're wasting your life. But if you intentionally and meaningfully use your hours, you're building a beautiful life. Danny also reminds us that perfection isn't necessary. You don't need to win every single hour. Some hours will be wasted. Some hours will be unproductive. That's okay. That's human. What's important is what the overall trend is. Are you generally using your hours intentionally? Are you generally making progress? If yes, you're on the right path. Danny's final message is very simple but profound. Start now. Win your next hour. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Right now. The hour that's happening right now, win it. Just 1 hour. Then the next, then the next. That's the formula. That's the secret. Win your next hour. So what have we learned from this incredible book, Win Your Next Hour? The first and most fundamental thing we learned is that we get stuck because of overwhelm, perfectionism, and fear, and the way to overcome these 3 things is to break down big goals and focus on the next hour. The second thing we learned is that win your next hour means consciously and intentionally using every hour for a specific task, and doing this consistently makes small hours compound and become big transformations. The third thing we learned is that the necessary steps for implementation are identifying the big goal, breaking it down into small tasks, choosing the next hour's task, committing, executing, and celebrating. The fourth thing we learned is that common obstacles include distraction, lack of clarity, energy management issues, perfectionism, and lack of motivation, and every obstacle can be overcome with specific strategies. The fifth thing we learned is that advanced strategies include batching, time blocking, energy matching, environment design, habit stacking, progress tracking, reward systems, reflection, flexibility, and community. The sixth thing we learned is that momentum is a very powerful thing, and positive momentum builds from consistent action, which then carries us and makes continuing easier. The seventh thing we learned is that setbacks are normal, and what's important is how we respond by quickly recovering and getting back on track. The eighth thing we learned is that scaling up should be done gradually while maintaining a sustainable pace and balancing different life areas. The ninth thing we learned is that identity shift is very important for long-term sustainable change, and every 1 hour is a vote in favor of our new identity. The 10th thing we learned is that there are some common myths about win your next hour, like it's just a productivity hack or there's no flexibility, but actually it's about intentional living, and flexibility is a very important part. The 11th thing we learned is that strategic rest is also important and should be deliberately planned to prevent burnout. The 12th thing we learned is that preemptive problem solving, optimization, leverage, and systems thinking are all advanced concepts that take win your next hour to the next level. The 13th thing we learned is that using Danny's 4 quadrants framework, we can prioritize our tasks and maximum time should be invested in quadrant 2, which is not urgent but important. The 14th thing we learned is that real-life transformation stories like Jake, Sarah, Mike, and David prove that this framework works across different areas and different situations. The 15th thing we learned is that this isn't just a productivity technique, but a complete life philosophy about intentional living and conscious choices. The 16th thing we learned is that perfection isn't necessary, and some hours being wasted is normal. What's important is that the overall trend is positive. The 17th thing we learned is that environment and social circle matter a lot in identity formation and behavior change. The 18th thing we learned is that patience is necessary because results aren't immediate but compound over time. The 19th thing we learned is that this framework is versatile and can be applied in career, health, relationships, finances, personal growth, every area. The 20th and final thing we learned is that ultimately our life is the sum of our hours, and when we intentionally use our hours, we build a meaningful and fulfilling life. This book, Win Your Next Hour, isn't just a book. It's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that we have power, the power to choose, the power to act, the power to transform. We're not stuck. We're not helpless. We're just overwhelmed. And the solution is to focus on the next hour. Danny Lehr has given us a simple but incredibly powerful framework, a framework that works, a framework that's tested, a framework that can transform anyone's life if they honestly implement it. But the most important thing is that just reading isn't enough. Just understanding isn't enough. You actually have to implement. You actually have to take action. You actually have to win your hours. So I'm asking you, are you ready? Are you ready to get out of your stuck state? Are you ready to turn your dreams into reality? Are you ready to transform your life? If yes, then make a decision. Right now, in this moment, decide that you will win your next hour. Not tomorrow's, not next week's, but the hour that's happening right now. Just 1 hour. Choose one specific task, something very small, something definitely achievable, and commit that in the next 60 minutes you'll complete it. Then actually do it. Eliminate distractions, focus, execute, and when it's complete, celebrate. Acknowledge that you won an hour, and then repeat for the next hour, and the next, and the next. And watch what happens. In 1 week, you'll feel the difference. In 1 month, you'll see progress. In 3 months, you'll experience transformation. In 6 months, your life will be significantly different. And in 1 year, you'll look back and won't believe how much has changed. Everything. And all of this will start with a single hour, a single decision. Win your next hour. So thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through Win Your Next Hour. I hope this summary has been eye-opening, inspiring, and most importantly, actionable. If you found this video helpful, please like it, share it with someone who needs to hear this, subscribe to Story Reads for more life-changing book summaries, and comment below with your biggest takeaway. And most importantly, start implementing what you've learned today, right now, this moment, because knowledge without action is just entertainment. Real transformation happens when knowledge is converted into action. So go, win your next hour, build momentum, create transformation, become the best version of yourself, because you deserve an amazing life, a fulfilling life, a life without regrets. And all of that is possible. It's just 1 hour away, your next hour. So win it, and then the next, and the next. And before you know it, you'll be exactly where you've always wanted to be. You'll become who you've always wanted to become. You'll achieve what you've always wanted to achieve. Everything is possible. Just start right now. Win your next hour. Let me leave you with one final powerful thought from Danny Lehr. He says, most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. We think we can conquer the world in 24 hours, and when we can't, we get discouraged. But we don't realize that if we just consistently win 1 hour every day for a year, that's 365 hours, 365 focused, intentional, productive hours. Do you know how much you can accomplish in 365 dedicated hours? You can write a book, you can build a business, you can transform your body, you can learn a new skill, you can repair relationships, you can change your entire life. 365 hours. That's what 1 hour a day for 1 year gives you, and that's the power of winning your next hour. So stop thinking about the entire mountain. Stop looking at the peak and getting overwhelmed. Just focus on the next step, the next hour. Win it, then win the next, then the next. And slowly, steadily, consistently, you'll climb that mountain. You'll reach that peak. You'll achieve that dream. Not because you had some special talent, not because you had unlimited resources, not because you got lucky, but because you won your hours, one at a time, consistently, relentlessly. And those hours compounded into days, into weeks, into months, into years, into a completely transformed life. Think about it. Right now, as you're listening to this, you have a choice. You can close this video and go back to your old patterns. Keep thinking, keep planning, keep waiting for the perfect moment, and stay exactly where you are, stuck, frustrated, dreaming but not doing. Or you can make a different choice. You can decide right now that things are going to change, that you're going to change, that starting from this very hour, you're going to win your hours. You're going to take action. You're going to move forward. The choice is yours. Nobody else can make it for you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your mentors. Only you. And this choice, this one simple choice, will determine the trajectory of your entire life.
I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine it's 1 year from today. You're looking back at this exact moment, this video, this message. What do you want to see? Do you want to see someone who heard this and did nothing? Who went back to their old patterns? Who stayed stuck? Or do you want to see someone who heard this and took action? Who started winning their hours? Who transformed their life? The person you'll be 1 year from now is being created by the choices you make today, by the actions you take today, by the hours you win today. So choose wisely, choose powerfully, choose to win your next hour. And here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to win every single hour. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. You just have to take one small step, one small action, one small hour, and then another, and the path will reveal itself. The clarity will come. The momentum will build. But only if you start, only if you take that first step, only if you win that first hour. So what are you waiting for? What's stopping you? Fear? Overwhelm? Perfectionism? Those are just excuses, stories you're telling yourself. The truth is, you're capable, you're ready, you're enough, right now, exactly as you are. You don't need to wait, you don't need to prepare more, you just need to start.
Win your next hour. Let me tell you something powerful. Every successful person you admire started exactly where you are right now. Stuck, uncertain, overwhelmed. The only difference is they made a decision. They took action. They won their hours. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple in a day. Jeff Bezos didn't create Amazon overnight. Oprah didn't become Oprah in a week. They all started with one small action, one small hour, and they kept going. They kept winning their hours, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And eventually, those compounded hours created empires, created legacies, created transformation. And you can do the same, not overnight, not in a week, but if you consistently win your hours, in 1 year, you'll be shocked at how far you've come. Think about the alternative. Think about what happens if you don't take action, if you stay stuck. 1 year from now, you'll still be in the same place, still dreaming, still planning, still waiting. And you'll have 1 more year of regret, 1 more year of what-ifs, 1 more year of missed opportunities. Is that what you want? Or do you want to look back 1 year from now and say, wow, I can't believe how much I've changed, how much I've grown, how much I've achieved? That decision is being made right now, in this moment. So choose to win your next hour.
I want to be very clear about something. This isn't about being busy. This isn't about hustling 24/7. This isn't about burning yourself out. This is about being intentional. This is about making every hour count. This is about living with purpose. You can still rest. You can still play. You can still relax. But when you work, work with full focus. When you rest, rest fully. When you're with your family, be fully present. That's what winning your next hour means. It means being intentional about how you spend your time. It means making conscious choices. It means living on purpose, not by accident. And here's what happens when you start living like this. You'll notice that you have more time than you thought. You'll notice that you're accomplishing more than you ever did. You'll notice that you're less stressed, less overwhelmed, less frustrated, because you're in control. You're making conscious choices. You're not letting life happen to you. You're making life happen. And that feeling of being in control, that feeling of making progress, that feeling of moving toward your dreams, that's one of the most fulfilling feelings in the world. That's what makes life worth living. And it all starts with winning your next hour. So here's my final challenge to you. After you finish this video, I want you to do something. I want you to grab a piece of paper or open a note on your phone, and I want you to write down one goal, just one, something you've been wanting to do but haven't started. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it's getting in shape. Maybe it's writing a book. Maybe it's learning a new skill. Whatever it is, write it down. Then I want you to break it down. What's the very first small step? What's one thing you could do in the next hour that would move you closer to that goal? Write that down. Then I want you to commit. Tell yourself, in the next hour, I will do this one thing. Then set a timer, eliminate distractions, and do it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Don't question it. Just do it. And when you're done, I want you to celebrate, even if it's just for a moment. Acknowledge that you did it. You won your hour. You took action. You moved forward. Then I want you to identify the next small step and commit to doing that in the next available hour, and then do it and celebrate again. And keep this cycle going every day for the next 30 days. Just 30 days. Give yourself this challenge. Win at least 1 hour every day for 30 days and watch what happens. Watch how much progress you make. Watch how much you accomplish. Watch how much you transform. I guarantee you'll be amazed. And after 30 days, you won't want to stop because you'll have built momentum. You'll have built a habit. You'll have built a new identity. The identity of someone who wins their hours, someone who takes action, someone who achieves their goals.
So that's it. That's the message. That's the framework. That's the challenge. Win your next hour. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday. right now. The hour that's happening right now. Win it. Take one small action, move one small step forward, and then do it again and again and again, and watch your life transform. Watch your dreams become reality. Watch yourself become the person you've always wanted to be. It's all possible. It's all within reach. It's just 1 hour away, your next hour. So go win it right now. Stop watching, stop listening, go take action. Win your next hour. Your future self will thank you, I promise. Thank you for being here. Thank you for investing this time in yourself. Thank you for being open to change. Thank you for being willing to grow. Now go make it happen. Go win your next hour. Go build the life you deserve. You've got this. I believe in you. Now you need to believe in yourself and prove it by winning your next hour, starting now. Go.